Hello and welcome back to Saber Outdoors. My name, of course, is Mark Alexander, your wonderful host. And today we are going to do Walmart's cheapest folding saw versus Walmart's most expensive hatchet. And just for comparison, for comparison, we're gonna use this. Hate you. But moving on to better things. So we're gonna try this. This here, it is the cheapest folding saw that Walmart sells, the Ozark Trail folding saw. Now this is a 7-inch blade, slip resistant handle, and it's got everything that you need to go do the things you want to do. Let's see if we can get this out reasonably easy. I might have to use a pocket knife for this. Nope, maybe not. Maybe I can just beat the system. 1, 2, 3. Oh no! It's gonna fail. Uno momento. Okay, that should be enough. This is worse than... Okay. Got it. Okay, cool. Out of the package. So guys, first impressions. It feels really heavier than I expected in the hand. We've got us a little lock here, so it'll lock the blade. Pretty nice looking blade. I'm getting a call, so I'll be right back with you. All right, so we're back. We've got our stuff out of the package. It's got a nice lock on it that seems to work. Doesn't have much play in it. Doesn't shut perfect, but I mean, this is only I believe this was $10. Don't have my receipt in front of me. It wasn't much, but it only locks in one position. I wish it had that additional lock this way, because if I use it like this, eventually it's going to have to snap back like this. I wish it had that, but you know, it's the cheapest one at Walmart. What can you ask for? But the rubber grip feels pretty good. It's got a really big hole at the end if you want to put a lanyard or something else on it, or if you want to tie it onto your pack. I really like that part of it. Now, that's plenty enough as far as looking at this. So let's take a look at this, and it is, I'm telling you, they got some serious zip ties on this thing. Like, this is not taped, it's not plastic, it's zip tied. So it probably will take me a minute or so to get it out. Actually, no, I might be able to slip this off. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna be just able to slip her off. Let me slip this little cover off. I don't need that no more. Yeah. And we'll pull the, maybe we will. Okay. Let's see if we can get her worked down here. Okay, cool. So our information, it says it's got a limited lifetime warranty, 14-inch hatchet, and it has a steel handle. Now, I like steel handles because they don't break, they might bend, but when you buy a tool with a steel handle, more likely than not, you're never going to have to buy that particular tool again unless you just want to. And if you're like me, you'll want to. But it says it has cheek cutouts. That's these little divots here. They're cutouts for easy wood removal, and it says that it has a real, and you can see it, a really aggressive wedge, almost like a diamond wedge for easy chopping. We will test that before very long. Now, the case, let's see if we can slip the stuff off. Now, I'll have to, let me take my pocket knife, because, you know, we try not to waste here if I can get away with it. And this is a very large one of these, so and that's how easy it is. You just take your knife and really gently work it in there. If you jam it in there, you're more likely going to jam it through. But we got that off. Let's look at our case. Our case seems pretty nice. Now, some cases just have sewing, but this has rivets in it, and I really like that. How does this case work? Okay, so let's slide her in there, and it goes underneath of it. Let's see if it wants to fall. Yeah, this case is complete garbage, unless I put it on wrong. Let me make sure I didn't put it on wrong, because I'm just as likely as the next person. You know, I'm not perfect in every way. Maybe it's supposed to go on. I mean, that's the only way that it fits, because, like, oh, okay, I didn't have it all the way in. Okay, guys. So that wasn't a product failure, that was a me failure. Because sometimes I think it's one way and it's the other. So, very secure. This clip, I don't know how much I like that. Because this is not a light implement. So, if you're going to clip this onto your body, I don't know about that. I feel like that's going to drag whatever pair of pants or belts or whatever that you have on down. Does it say anything about it? No, it doesn't say anything about it. So, guys, we're going to take our implements, and I'm going to get some wood in front of us, and we're going to chop it and see what happens. All right, guys, so I've got you kind of close up. So I have my phone for a stopwatch, and I am going to hit it, start cutting, and then when I'm finished cutting, I'm going to hit it again, and I will show you how quickly you can get through something this small. Because this is only probably 2 fingers wide. So put your 2 fingers next to each other, and that's round about where it is. But we're going to try and see how quickly we can get through this with all 3 of our implements. Now, whenever we do our chopping implements, I'm going to do it right over this post, because that's going to give me the most support. This over here will have spring if I use that chopping motion over here. It's going to spring some, and that's going to affect our test. This over here, no spring whatsoever, because it's right over the post. So I'm going to start this test now. Well, if the table won't quit wobbling. Done. And we'll knock a second off for time. So we'll call that 29 seconds. 29 seconds. And let's look at our cut. Is our cut good? Yeah, our cut's fine. It definitely wasn't putting out a lot of shavings whenever it was cutting. But you can tell in just how I'm talking. I'm not out of breath. I'm not like, whew, you know, none of that. So we're gonna put this to one side, and we're gonna grab our cheapest hatchet, which that is of course the Hyper Tough pound and a quarter hatchet. If you watched in the cheapest hatchet versus cheapest machete, I didn't like it then. I don't think I'll like it now, but Yeah, we're gonna use it. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna scoot you all over just a smidge so that you all have a good centered up shot. And start. Now we'll of course knock a second off, so we will call that at 17.5, so 16.5, a surprising result. So almost half of what the saw did. And let's look at the cut. Our piece kind of went flying, so kind of raggedy, like you would expect for this kind of deal, but honestly didn't feel too bad. That was a lot louder than I thought it would be. Sorry guys who were listening on headphones, but if I were making kindling, that wouldn't matter. But if I'm making something specific, you know, that's a very clean, nice cut compared to the other. So 16.5 seconds for our cheap hatchet. And let's make sure I didn't damage our table. Everything seems okay. Nothing's any looser than it was before. So we're gonna try our try out the most expensive. Now I don't think I remembered to tell you, this was $29 at Walmart. So you can buy almost 3 of these or 3 of these for the price of this. But we're gonna give her a try, and let me get myself right. Go. Woo. Whoop, I missed. My phone's about to go flying. Oh, my table is breaking. Guys, I'm gonna have to stop this. My table is actively breaking. So guys, we're gonna have to move this to somewhere else. All right guys, so here's the piece of my table that I broke off. Rip. But I sawed that piece off that I was working on. I've got my cell phone here. Let me get my clock back up and going. So clock's right there. I'm gonna scooch back from my log. This is the log we used the last time that we did this kind of thing, and I'm gonna use it again just in a minute. But I'm gonna get right, and I'm gonna start this, and I'm gonna chop on this log because I know it's not gonna break. Now, I don't know if you can see that. That says 1077. So knock a second off, and that's 9 3/4 seconds to get that apart. That's a lot better than the other. Now guys, let's see what that cut looks like. That looks relatively clean compared to the other. The other is on the other side, and it's not nearly as clean. But guys, we're gonna take some chops at this log being as it's here. Now, oh, this feels wonderful on my knees. We'll set that up there on the table. Now on this side, we did our machete. This side we did this. Now we're gonna do it again because this is being filmed significantly later. So this log is different than it was. So I'm gonna scooch my log over some, and I'm gonna give 4 shots, kind of look at it, then 4 more shots and kind of look at it. So And I'm only using one hand, I'm not using two. That might have been 6, but I'm already as deep as my cheap hatchet. Let's give her a couple more. That was bad lick. That's deeper than this hatchet before, but we're gonna hit it with this one to see how it is now, because that could be a difference in the wood. So we're just gonna scoot your log down a little and give it 8 shots. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I barely got past the bark with this one. 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm almost the same as before. Now, this is chopping. You can't chop with saws, so we're not using that. But what I am gonna use, whew, I got a shaving in my shoe. What I am gonna use is a full-size Cold Steel axe. This is the Trail Boss from Cold Steel. You can see it there. And we're gonna give it some shots. So I'm gonna move our log a little. Set those out of the way. Now we're gonna come right about here. So we're gonna give her 4 shots. 1, and look at that. 2, 3, 4. Now pulling the chips out, I'm already further than my cut directly next to it. 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the big difference between a hatchet and an axe. You get through stuff with an axe, and you can put your full force behind it. But we're gonna cut us, let me get you up here where you can see me. Come on. All right, lighting's better here. Now I'm gonna cut a chunk off this, and we're gonna see how these two do chopping. We're gonna see if they can chop wood in half, whether I have to just kill myself to get it done. Whatever it is, I'll bring you along with me. All right guys, for our next test, we're gonna split this piece of wood, but I have 2 hatchets. I wanna split the same piece of wood with those hatchets. So I'm gonna show you a technique in order to get very precise cuts. Now, this is how it's meant to go. You're supposed to use a saw and a axe together. So you get your cut started. Eventually, get your cut started. All right, we got her cut somewhat. Come on now, guy. It wants to walk on me. Have you ever seen a saw want to walk? This one sure does. But we get our saw started and we start cutting, and we cut until we have a groove in this. And I'll be right back with you when I get that groove done. All right now guys, so we have our groove cut all the way across, and we're gonna take our axe and put it right there, and we're gonna make sure that it's right down in our groove. And we're gonna take us a spare piece of wood that I have laying around, and we're gonna hammer that in to make sure it's good and stuck. And possibly a few things are gonna go flying off camera, but that's okay. Now this wood will never hurt this head. It's wood, this is steel. Cold steel. Now we've got her reasonably stuck, I think. So now we can actually give it a good whack on the ground. And we've already, looked down there, we've already got a good split. We'll hit our log with it so it's even more solid. Boom, split. Now, if you are making kindling, this technique's not for you. But if you are building a structure, this is a way that you can get very precise cuts with a handsaw and a piece of, you know, an axe, or this technique would have worked with either of these hatchets. So now that we've got it in half, we have the exact same width, you know, grain structure, the whole nine. So we're gonna try our cheap hatchet first. Now I'm gonna hope that I don't break this side of my table as well. But we're gonna split this in half as easily as we can. Boom. Not a problem. Not a problem. One swing, done. Let's see if it's so easy with our expensive one. Boom, done. And I missed that one ever so slightly. So we're gonna give her another shot. Like it's nothing. That one I've had to put a lot less effort in than this one. But I got the same result, so it's however you feel about it. Now, this saw, I could sit here and saw on it. Yes, I would get through, but you know, I'm gonna spare you from that. We're gonna see how these do pruning. So we're gonna bring you over to our trees. Oh, the shade. How nice, how nice. So let's get you set up here. So right there is our tree. I've got both of our pieces of equipment. I'm gonna use the saw first. So we've got our piece here. So we're gonna actually count the strokes. We're gonna count the strokes as soon as I feel whatever that is. Just green vine, it's not a piece of poison oak. We're gonna count our strokes and see how many it gets to get through this limb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not bad. And this limb's about as big as my middle finger. So if you were pruning, not bad. We'll pitch that down the hill. Now we've got another one here. And we're gonna count our strikes. 1, up. Don't count that one. I hit the top limb instead. 1, 2. Boom, done. Now, again, just like before, my saw cut is very clean and my hatchet cut is very ragged. But do they both do the job? Yes, yes they do. Okay guys, so we came inside so that the lighting would be better, and it's hot. Well, it's really hot outside, and that sun's beating down on me. But I've got our implements of destruction here, and I'm going to talk about each one of them. So first, the saw. Saw works good. It hasn't developed a lot of play, but I don't know if you can hear that or not. It has developed a very small amount of play. So you get what you pay for with this. It doesn't cut super well, but it does cut. It is cheap, easy to put in a pocket and go, or in a pack and go. If you need precise cuts, a saw is what you want, and that's what we had. But if I were picking between the saw and our expensive hatchet, I would go with the expensive hatchet. In fact, I would go so far as to say I would take it over the cheap hatchet as well. I would take the cheap hatchet over it as well. But this Hart hatchet from Walmart, $29. Yes, it is expensive, but if you are buying wooden tools, if you're buying, like, I just happen to have, if you're buying wooden handled tools, eventually this handle will rot out. Eventually you will break this handle out, especially in a tool like this where you are striking, and if you overstrike, you will hit your handle. With this, as long as this rubber grip is good, you are good. And there's ways to put a handle on this with paracord. And if you want me to show you how to do that, I will. But guys, the Hart, very nice tool. Still don't know about this this clip on the back. I just don't think that's ever going to be a thing that I use, but it's there if I want it. If I want to hang it on a clothesline, or if I want to hang it on the wall of a garage or shop, or anything like that, I might use it for that purpose. But as far as putting it on my pants, no. Now, our hatchet, this handle is good. This is very nice, and it's good and tight. It will last. I will pay the extra just for that. But our edge didn't take any damage whatsoever. In fact, our table took damage from this just because I was putting some power out, guys, because I wanted to get through that as fast as I could with each one of the things we used. But you've got to say this: you get what you pay for. A handle that's not going to break, and a head that seems to do a really good job at splitting. When we split, I didn't have to put hardly any effort into putting it down, and it split it like nothing. Now I'm gonna have to hand it to the little Hyper Tough hatchet. I hated on this hatchet quite a lot versus the machete. I still would take the machete over this because it is dull, but it did better than the saw that we use today. And that's saying something, because I really did not like this coming in, and now I'm kind of meh about it. Now these are all factory edges, so if I put an edge on this or that, it would perform better. But this already performed better than this, like it is, so I imagine if I put an edge on it, it'll perform even better than this. Now, guys, you saw a little bit of a full-sized axe and techniques that you might use to build something. If you want me to build something, or if you want me to do a few axe videos, let me know. I'll do those videos for you. I'll do them, and I'll probably do them later in the wintertime when fishing's not so great and hunting. I don't know about hunting on this channel because YouTube is very particular about hunting. They say they don't mind hunting, but hunting lives in fear of being taken down. And if I am dressing an animal, they flag it. But if I am preparing a meal and that animal happens to be in my kitchen already, like if it was a chicken and it's already been plucked and head cut off, YouTube has no problem. But if I cut the head off and pluck it, they seem to have issue with it. So hunting, I'm still not sure if I'm going to do that on my channel or not, because I don't want my channel to get in trouble with YouTube. I'm going to try and see what I can get away with on that. But guys, as for this video is over with, so I'm just going to give you the usual YouTube things like share, subscribe, comment. Please hit that bell notification and subscribe. It helps me so much, and it costs you nothing whatsoever. And we'll see you somewhere in the woods or on the water.